The deception of the Treaty of Wuchale. A blood price for a single word. The cause of the Battle of Adwa did not begin on the battlefield, but rather through a conspiracy started on paper. In May 1889, the Treaty of Wuchale was signed between Emperor Menelik II and the Italian government. This treaty was drafted in two languages, Amharic and Italian. 1. The mystery of Article 17, the deadly Article 17. Although the treaty contained 20 articles, it was Article 17 that ignited the war. In the Amharic version, it stated that the Ethiopian government could use the Italian government's help for its dealings with European nations. This meant Ethiopia had the choice to use their assistance or not. In the Italian version, however, one crucial word was changed. It claimed that Ethiopia is obligated to, conduct all its foreign relations through Italy. 2. The exposure of the Italian conspiracy. Using this linguistic trick, the Italians announced to the world that Ethiopia has become an Italian protectorate. Emperor Menelik only discovered this betrayal much later. When the resolute Empress Taytu understood the deception, she rose in fury, declaring, "We are not servants of the Italians." 3. The diplomatic standoff Emperor Menelik wrote a letter to the Italian king, Umberto I, demanding that the treaty be corrected. However, the Italians arrogantly replied, "The treaty will not be changed." The historic decision. In February 1893, Emperor Menelik officially tore up the Treaty of Wuchale. He even repaid the loans taken from Italy in pure gold. This move was a massive humiliation for the Italians. 4. Playing with a lion. Unable to defeat Ethiopia through diplomacy, the Italians began their military advancement into northern Ethiopia to seize the country by force. Emperor Menelik responded by proclaiming a national call to arms, declaring, "I will not surrender my country's independence." The conspiracy that started on paper was transformed into a great war that exploded on the mountains of Adwa. On March 1, 1896, Yekatit 23, 1888 EC, before the morning sun could rise, the mountains of Adwa were already shrouded in the smoke of gunpowder. Having been misled all night by the false intelligence of Bashar Awalom, the Italian army wandered through the treacherous ravines of Adwa, only to find themselves unexpectedly under the muzzles of Ethiopia's heroes. 1. The dawn's sudden assault. At 11 a.m., General Albertoni's brigade suddenly clashed with the Ethiopian forces. As the Italians opened fire, the Ethiopian army swarmed them like a hive of bees, chanting, "For the love of country, for our faith." The first victory. The combined forces of Ras Makonnen, Ras Mengesha, and Ras Alula engaged the Italian brigade led by Albertone. Within hours, Albertone was defeated and captured by Ethiopian hands. 2. Heroism at the center front. Upon learning of Albertone's defeat, the Italian commander-in-chief Baratieri ordered General Arimondi and General Darbomida to push forward. It was here that the military brilliance of the Ethiopian generals was truly revealed. The cannons of Dehazmach Balcha Aba Nefso. In the heat of the battle, the master artillerist Balcha Aba Nefso neutralized the Italian cannons, stripping the enemy of their tactical footing. Empress Taytu's Black Lion Army. Empress Taytu herself led her troops to the front lines. Beyond encouraging the soldiers with shouts of "Courage! Be strong!" she shattered the enemy's spirit by breaking through the Italian left wing. 3. Emperor Menelik's decisive command. The battle grew incredibly fierce. Supported by their modern weaponry, the Italians attempted a desperate offensive. At this critical moment, Emperor Menelik ordered his reserve force of nearly 25,000 imperial guards to enter the fray with full might. This decision instantly shifted the course of the battle. The Ethiopian army poured down upon the enemy like a torrential flood. 4. The enemy's ruin and the proclamation of victory. By 3 p.m., the Italian army had completely collapsed. The fate of the generals. General Arimondi and General Darbomida were killed by the bullets of the heroes. The commander-in-chief, Baratieri, acknowledging his defeat and fearing for his life, fled in a cowardly retreat. The captives, thousands of Italian soldiers, were taken prisoner, and their modern weaponry fell into Ethiopian hands. The result, the victory of Adwa, was proclaimed. A white European power that came to kneel a black African nation was itself brought to its knees. The Ethiopian flag fluttered with pride atop the mountains of strategy and intelligence. The secret to the Ethiopian victory. The Battle of Adwa was won not only by physical might, but also through overwhelming intelligence superiority. This is how the Ethiopian army defeated modern military science using traditional espionage and strategic brilliance. 1. Basha Awalom, the master, double agent. Basha Awalom. Hadera, a legendary hero, served as the primary information source for the Ethiopian forces by gaining the absolute trust of the Italians. The tactic of deception. He led the Italians to believe that the Ethiopian forces were weakened by food shortages and disease, and that the army had been scattered. The fatal maps. He intentionally led the Italians astray during their night march, causing their 3 brigades to lose contact with one another. This ensured that the Italians could be struck one by one without being able to reinforce each other. 2. The victory of Wuchale, the water strategy. Before the main battle at Adwa, the siege at the Wuchale fort had already shattered the Italians' morale. Empress Taytu's brilliance. Empress Taytu identified the specific water source used by the entrenched Italian troops and ordered her soldiers to seize it. The result? Deprived of water, the Italians were forced to surrender due to extreme thirst. This strategic move broke the enemy's psychological strength long before the final confrontation. 3. Tactical positioning. Mastering the high ground emperor. Menelik and his generals utilized the rugged landscape of Adwa with masterful precision. Securing the heights by occupying key mountain peaks such as Soloda, Embagarima, and Rebi Arieni, the Ethiopian army gained the advantage of striking the enemy from above. The ambush. As the enemy marched through narrow valleys, Ethiopian forces launched sudden ambushes, rendering the Italians' long-range cannons and modern weaponry practically useless in the close-quarter terrain. 4. Unity as a strategic weapon. The refusal of the Ethiopian army to be divided by tribal or ethnic lines was an outcome the Italians never expected. While the enemy hoped the regional leaders, Raises, would fight among themselves, the unity was unbreakable. The United Front, leaders like Ras Makonnen and Ras Alula, and Ras Mengesha and Ras Sibat, fought side by side. Basha Awalom delivered the final blow to Italian hopes by reporting the devastating truth. Every soul stands united behind Menelik. The legacy of the victory of Adwa, the pride of black people. The victory of Adwa was not merely a triumph on the battlefield. It was a monumental event that changed world history, shattered the arrogance of white supremacy, and renewed the hope of all black people. 1. For Ethiopia, confirmation of sovereignty. After the victory, Italy was forced to officially cancel the Treaty of Wuchale and sign a peace treaty recognizing Ethiopia's full independence. An unconquerable nation. The foundation was laid for Ethiopia to remain the only African country to preserve its independence during the era of colonization. Modernity. Following the victory, Ethiopia began to establish equal diplomatic relations with world nations, opening the door for modernization to enter the country. 2. For Africa. A beacon of freedom. At the time, almost all of Africa was under colonial rule. However, the victory of Adwa shattered the myth that the white man is invincible. A light of hope. Other African nations gained the courage, thinking, if Ethiopia has won, we too can win. The symbolism of the flag. Because the Ethiopian flag, green, yellow, and red, became a symbol of freedom, many African countries today use these same colors in their own flags. 3. For black people. Worldwide, Pan-Africanism, the victory of Adwa became a great source of pride for black people in America and the Caribbean. a sanctuary. A spiritual and political movement called Ethiopianism emerged. It caused all black people to turn their eyes toward Ethiopia. A victory for the black race. For the first time in history, a black nation's victory over a European power equipped with modern weaponry shifted the global political balance. 4. An eternal lesson, unity. The greatest legacy of Adwa is unity. It has taught generations that by putting aside differences and standing as one for the country, it is possible to achieve a victory that seems impossible.